Black Girl Soliloquy is her first publication, and it has shot to #1 on the Amazon's new releases and #2 on the bestsellers list. I have with me the extraordinary author of this remarkable book, Zena Lewis. Welcome.
Thank
and
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me this morning.
This is an outstanding journey for you. Just walk us through. What was it like?
Composing my first book was definitely a challenge. I really had to sacrifice a lot of time, especially trying to balance school, work, and still become an author. Financially, it was also challenging because I was always doubting myself that I don't have enough finance to support my book, to support my dream. But I never allowed those obstacles to stop me. I pushed through and I made the sacrifices that were necessary, and now we are here with Black Girl Soliloquy.
And most definitely we are here. How long did it take for you to compile this book?
This is 6 years worth of...
6 years?
Yes, 6 years worth of sacrifice, 6 years worth of work, 6 years worth of dedication, and 6 years on a remarkable journey with self-growth and self-love and self-discovery.
What motivated you to really write this book? What was the inspiration behind it?
Wow, I had a lot of inspiration from my own personal experiences with anxiety, with depression, with domestic abuse, and also just having and learning from my family, from my friends, and so on. So I really dabbled into and try to not make my book too personal, but also I try to at least bring forth a lot of my truth through my writing. Yeah.
Was it always a dream of yours to publish a book?
It was always a dream of mine to publish, but at the same time I was a bit intimidated as to if people are going to receive my book with open arms, especially coming from a community where a lot of people don't expect much of us per se, right? But I knew that I needed to do something as to this magnitude in order for a person to understand that it doesn't matter where you're coming from, it's where you're going, and once you put your mind to something, you can achieve it.
Well, I know that aspects of your childhood within your community and your school life were very much a part of this book.
Yes.
Just share some of those experiences.
Oh, I have so much, but I really have to start from growing up from a very humble beginning. I grew up very poor, and that didn't really faze me as much growing up until I got older, when I realized how much I had to work in order to at least make a name for myself, right? I remember growing up, I never thought much of myself, you know, because sometimes the environment that you grow up in, not having a lot, it kind of deters you sometimes. But I really had to step back and reflect on my past. I know a lot of people might not know how poor I grew up. I bathed at the public bath. I remember doing CXC without a computer, having to be over by my friend's house and trying to get my SBs and these things. I remember having to miss school a lot when I attended the girls' high school because my parents and my sisters couldn't afford to send me to school every day. But my principal at that time, Miss Andrea Bowman, took a close interest in me. You know, she had me as her daughter. She used to at least give me whatever she can in order to make my school years as comfortable as I can. I remember CXC coming up, and I didn't know how my subjects were getting paid, and I didn't realize how much my teachers at that time took an interest in my learning, and they wrote me up to get one of the Tyrant scholarships, and that is how I got money to pay for my CXCs. So things were never easy for me. I always had to work and make a lot of sacrifices. Remember, my sister used to work very hard. I used to sell popsicle at school. I used to have to sell syrup and these things, and it never deterred me. It really never deterred me. It just really
At that time, you were building your entrepreneurial skills
yes,
in a way.
Definitely, and I'm always about what's next in order for me to be financially stable, so I can break this generational curse that my family had to endure for so long. And I remember having to enter into an abusive relationship, and I had to stay there because at that time I couldn't afford to send myself to school. And so my upbringing really humbled me, and it made me into the very motivated, self-aware and woke individual that I am. And I'm not ashamed of it. I am kind of excited that I have this story to go with my book, right? Sometimes people write things and they never really know exactly how.
They're detached from the experience.
Yes, very much so.
So it's a very authentic publication.
Very, and the language in which I use in a lot of my pieces is attached to my African roots, per se, because I always felt as though I was very rebellious when it comes to the way in which we as black women or black girls were taught and portrayed.
In this Eurocentric fashion.
Very, and I also really wanted to change that perception of how we perceive ourselves and how beauty standards were sold to us, right? So a lot of my language that was used in the book was me rebelling. I purposefully misspelled some words in here. I purposefully misspelled a lot of words because English language was never our first language. Our first language was our Vincentian Creole, and I feel as though a lot of people run from that. And I realized that in order for me to be my true authentic self in the capacity of an African woman, I had to embody that strength. I had to embody that rebellion in order for me to really sell myself. And I really wanted to share that on camera, so when people see my book, they were like, what shit is this? Nobody read over this? Also, I used to feel very inferior because I wasn't allowed at that time to really understand who I am and where I'm coming from. And I had to really go on this self-discovery journey to really understand and embark on what it means to be a black woman in the 21st century. We have so much distractions. We have so much standards of how a black woman's supposed to look, how a black woman's supposed to act, how we're supposed to talk, and what is etiquette for us as black women. But I do believe that a part of me is rooted and grounded in my blackness to the fullest extent. I don't think there's anybody who loves being black more than me, and I wish I was darker. I know it's ironic in this 21st century. Bleaching is a thing, and straightening hair is a thing. And I'm not saying that
colorism.
I'm not saying that people who do these things are not rooted, right? But I want to depict as much of my African true authentic self.
And you're a beautiful black woman.
Yes, definitely.
And that is showcased also on the cover of the book.
Yes.
Tell us about the inspiration behind that. I think it's rather striking.
Yes. Those photos were, as I said, I was working on a book for 6 years, and I collabed with Dwayne Bailey to take those photos a while back. And at first I didn't really know if I wanted to use my own photo on the cover.
Why not?
Because at that time I wasn't I was on my journey, but at the same time I was still learning myself.
But they're a very significant part of your journey.
Yes, definitely.
That really should be embraced and acknowledged.
Definitely. And I remember sending the photo to my publishing company just to go to the back where about the author. And he said to me, these photos, you never thought about putting these photos as the cover? I'm like, no. And he's like, yes, we are putting these photos on the cover. And when he sent me back the first prototype to see if I liked it or not, I was blown away. And I was like, that's me.
It's beautiful, it's striking. You see so many elements coming out.
Yes, definitely.
About Black beauty and what it represents.
Definitely. And that is something that I'm very passionate about. Because as I said before I went on this journey, I used to compare myself a lot with my more brown and light-skinned friends with the straight hair and the straight nose, because I used to hate my nose. I used to hate my nose. And I remember writing my first poem, Whatever Black Girl Knew, and that is what really motivated me to really embrace everything, all of my Black girl features, all of my Black woman features. And I have learned to love myself, flaws and all, and really live in my truth. And that is exactly what I portrayed in my book. And I'm so excited for you guys to really read my second book, which I believe that
so you have a second book coming out. This is a part 2.
Yes, part 2 is really more based on African liberation and understanding what it means to be African, and understanding what it means to be Black in all of its truest form, in all of its essence and glory. So I'm excited about part 2 of my book mostly, yeah.
The name Black Girl Soliloquy. How did you come up with that name and that concept? It's rather unique. Very unique. To my friend Jekyll Mars, he was the one who put the name together for me. I remember Jekyll was the first person to actually push me when it comes to publishing my pieces and presenting my pieces to the public, because when I started writing in high school, I never used to really give anybody my work to read, because I feel... You're shy? Yeah, very shy. And at the time, I realized, yeah, boy, I'm good at this thing, but I'm good enough for me and not to anybody else. And at the same time, too, I didn't want to be judged also. And at that time, too, the Black Girls Woke, Black Girl Magic campaign wasn't even on. Yeah, movement wasn't really on as yet. So at that time, I knew that I wanted to give Black women, represent Black women on that level, but at the same time, I didn't know how to, right? And Jekyll was the one who really put my pieces together and actually made a play out of it. We did a play in, I believe it was April of this year, called Week, A Black Girl's Interaction. It was very well received by the public, and we were super excited that people actually receive and understand, and it was a timely message for Vincentian women also to rise up in the truth, understand that we are not only here to procreate, but also we are creators, we are creatives, we are moms, we are aunts, and we are destined for greater things. So that is one of the most memorable moments for me so far when it comes to writing. And I'm really, really grateful to Jekyll and Nisha Hope also for really seeing my potential and always, trying to invest their time and energy in me bettering my craft. So, what is your favorite piece in this book? I have so many favorite pieces, but my favorite piece probably might be, if I had to choose one, it probably might be Serve and Protect. Serve and Protect was a piece that I
find resonates with everybody. It touches on so many topics. It talks about inequality, it talks about the abuse of women, it talks about incest. It touches a lot of issues, and I like how it mashes a lot of people.
It's rather controversial,
Yes, very
in
controversial.
some sense.
Yes.
What's the feedback been like so far?
It has been amazing, especially from persons living abroad. They have definitely supported me when it comes to buying and purchasing, and giving me excellent feedback about the book. Locally, also, it has been overwhelming. I can't even walk in the road without someone recognizing it. Tell me congratulations on the book.
And pretty soon I hope to get an autographed copy.
Soon, and very soon. My books are expected to be in St. Vincent by the 18th.
That's of this month,
yeah,
October.
Of October, hopefully. I was really hoping to do the launch after Independence without having to try to clash with anything that's going on and the busyness of Independence. But if it happens before, it happens before. Let's look out for it. And I'm super excited to really give Vincentrans a taste.
Well, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Number 1, number 2 on Amazon. That's really, really extraordinary.
Yes.
Paperback and audiobook.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And very soon we'll be getting copies here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yes.
So you have to look out for that for
Yes.
sure. So all the best, Zena.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to future publications from you.
Thank you.